Okay, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It is Tuesday.
It is.
There. Today, we start a new three-part parallel, starting in Matthew. Jesus warns against the religious leaders. Matthew chapter 23, starting at verse 1. Then Jesus said to the crowds and to his disciples, "The teachers of religious law and the Pharisees are the official interpreters of the law of Moses. So practice and obey whatever they tell you, but don't follow their example, for they don't practice what they teach. They crush people with unbearable religious demands and never lift a finger to ease their burden. Everything they do is for show. On their arms they wear extra wide prayer boxes with scripture verses inside, and they wear robes with extra long tassels, and they love to sit at the head table at banquets and at the seats of honor in the synagogues. They love to receive respectful greetings as they walk in the marketplace and to be called rabbi. Don't let anyone call you rabbi, for you have only one teacher, and all of you are equal as brothers and sisters. And don't address anyone here on earth as father, for only God in heaven is your spiritual father. And don't let anyone call you teacher, for you have only one teacher, the Messiah. The greatest among you must be a servant, but those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted." And now the commentary. The Pharisees' traditions and their interpretations and applications of the laws have become as important to them as God's law itself. Their laws were not all bad. Some were beneficial. Problems arose when the religious leaders held that man-made rules were equal to God's laws, told the people to obey these rules, but did not do so themselves. They obeyed the rules, not to honor God, but to make themselves look good. Usually, Jesus did not condemn what the Pharisees taught, but what they were, hypocrites. These prayer boxes were leather boxes containing scripture verses. Very religious people wore these boxes on their foreheads and arms in order to obey Deuteronomy 6 verse 8 and Exodus 13 verse 9 and verse 16. But the prayer boxes that had been made extra wide and had become more important for the status they gave than for the truth they contained. Jesus exposed the hypocritical attitudes of the religious leaders. They knew the scriptures but did not live by them. They didn't care about being holy, just looking holy in order to receive people's admiration and praise. Today, like the Pharisees, many people say they know the Bible, but do not let it change their lives. They say they follow Jesus, but they don't live by his standards of love. We must make sure that our actions match our beliefs. People desire positions of leadership not only in business but also in the church. It is dangerous when love for position grows stronger than loyalty to God. This is what happened to the Pharisees and teachers of religious law. Jesus condemned leaders who serve themselves rather than others. Jesus challenged society's norms. To him, greatness comes from serving, giving of yourself to honor God and help others. Service keeps us aware of others' needs, and it stops us from focusing only on ourselves. Jesus came as a servant. What kind of greatness do you seek?
People in Israel, even today, the devout Jews wear those boxes on their foreheads.
Oh, yeah.
You can see videos of them and pictures of them with it on there.
Tradition that keeps on going to this day,
Right.
of course. And we as modern day Christians do the same thing. We invite people to come and trust in Jesus for to save you, and everything will be okay. And then this is all you have to do is just trust in Jesus. And then once you get there and people accept it and they join whatever church that they join to, and then next thing here come, you have to do this and you need to do that and you need to they start piling on all these rules for them, and it kind of loses the joy of the salvation.
And those are man-made rules.
Man-made rules,
not God rules.
Right.
And as we say all the time, come as you are. Don't wait to clean yourself up before you come.
Yeah.
Come as you are. And yes, the gift that He's offering, Christ, I mean, Jesus, the gift He's offering us is, He paid our debt.
Yeah.
And it's free, and that is all that you need to do.
Yeah.
But then in return, to live your life as an example for others, that's when Christ helps you clean up. You know?
You clean up because you're being led to and because you want to, not necessarily because, well, I have to in order to make somebody else happy.
Right.
You're here to make Jesus happy. I mean, you're here to follow, and in that, and it's not a burden.
No.
He said it himself as, come follow Him, for His burden is light. He's releasing you from a lot of these burdens in life. I mean, at least it is for me.
Yeah, it is for me too.
Cut a lot of those burdens off of my life, and I'm truly thankful for that.
Yeah.
And that's where it's at. That's where we have to reach people, not to put more burdens on them, but to allow Jesus to take those burdens from you.
The most important thing is our relationship, our personal relationship with Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And He is our connection to God the Father.
Yep.
The man-made laws and all the other stuff is completely unimportant to our salvation with Christ. And we do that because we love Christ and we want to show a good example for others. Yep. It's not for our salvation at all.
No.
But the man-made laws, it was running rapid and fouling up the system even way back when Jesus was alive.
Yeah, I mean it's gotten completely out of control.
Right.
Okay. Hope everybody has a glorious day, and we'll talk to you later.